Hello everyone, it is I Reversal. Welcome to today's news flash, and in this video I will bring you the latest updates on events in Knights and Dragons, and as always I'll go through them briefly, give you guys my thoughts and opinions about the events, and we're actually going to switch things up a little bit. I do want to spend some time on specific events a little bit more than the events we've already been covering, so this event won't be, or this video won't be as big as it usually is. I'll just try to keep it as brief as possible, starting off with the Horde attack. It's actually the first raid ever. It's gonna start today. Then after that we actually do have another epic that got released in the Chaos Vanguard, in the actual Liberty chest that also came out. It is a Spirit Mono, which is pretty nice, with a 5x chance of getting a legendary or an epic. Then after that we have a 30% sale ongoing in the arena right now, because the arena is really interesting as well. A little bit more about that later. The Unspeakable Horde has risen, it's Cthulhu, the epic boss, and then we have the Macabre Mayhem, and that is actually going to be the tournament which we'll be starting off with. The people who actually won the Sandstorm plate mill, I actually don't have that screen right now because I already went through it, because I really wanted to take a look at the orc raid, but we're going to be taking a look at this week's arena. It's going to be really interesting because this time we have the Runic robes as the top reward, and that, as we know, is a Guild War epic. So it's kind of surprising that they decided to put this one in, but also very nice at the same time. It is a very highly offensive type of armor, so because of that, and because it's very exclusive to get this armor, I believe we are gonna be seeing some fireworks in the arena, and I'm talking about maybe 1.75 million points. That's something that I have in mind, that people are willing to spend on this. I think there's gonna be a lot of competition to get this Runic robes because, well, let's face it, it looks absolutely stunning. The second reward in here is the Redstone Battle Gear. The Redstone Battle Gear is also a pretty, well, it is in between getting older as a legendary and being recent. I suppose it is a little bit outdated. It's still a pretty nice legendary, I must say. You guys see in the screen when it actually came out. I don't have the information with me because I'm doing everything on top of my head. I don't have anything noted down. I kind of wanted to move on as well to the Worm Shroud Mantle, which is the second legendary, and that on itself is a nice improvement. I do feel that Greece finally taking my word for granted, even though they probably don't watch my episodes, but I think it's a nice thing that they actually brought this one out there. Also, make sure to not forget about your weekly quest line. If you finish it off, you'll be getting some gems in the as a reward for doing so. And as always, there is a, well, not as always, but right now there's actually a gem sale ongoing right now. 30% extra energy when you're purchasing an arena pack, and that is quite nice. It doesn't happen that often, so make sure you strike your chances right now. So we're gonna be moving on to the next event. This time around it is another epic available to you guys right now in the limited edition Liberty chest. A little bit more about that a little bit later. I want to talk about the epic. When at first sight, when I'm taking a look at this epic, it kind of reminds me of the Arcane Mantle in a way as well. And I do really like this one a lot better than the Arcane Mantle. It does look kind of similar in a way. It is equally as impressive, but I just like the detail on this armor a whole lot more than on the Arcane Mantle. This armor is a very defensive type, a mono spirit, and I do believe that people are gonna be happy to see this one, especially for the looks. I just really gotta say and give it to Greed, the looks of this thing are absolutely stunning. It was kind of to be expected to see a mono spirit in there, and it's really nice to see a mono spirit once again, especially because that Arcane Mantle was gonna be fusible, and we haven't had a replacement for that yet. So we're gonna be talking about the limited edition Liberty chest. There's a 5x chance to get a legendary or an epic once again, and this time around, if you open up 11 chests, you'll be getting 8 fire fusion boost armors. Usually that is 5. And if you open up 40 this time, you'll be getting 25 fire fusion boost armors and the Voidborne Shroud. The Voidborne Shroud is actually a pretty nice armor. It came out with the Void Sentinel, and it isn't all that old, I must say. It still works pretty nicely in there. Also, the fact what is pretty nice is that it's a highly offensive type of armor. And that being said, we're gonna take a look at the Liberty chest itself. Now, when I see this, I immediately just gotta say that this is an absolute ripoff. The price that you need to pay for a 5x chance chest is just, I don't know. For the extra fusion boost armors, I would say it's not really worth it. I think Greece kind of like getting back into their old habits again, if you will. I just don't really like the fact that they that you have to pay so much, like 45 gems for just one chest. It's just absolutely insane, and I wouldn't recommend you guys to actually go for this chest. I do like the way this chest is themed with Independence Day and all, and I wish you guys all a very safe and happy Independence Day, and of course make sure to get the best out of it. But that being said, don't celebrate it by getting this Liberty chest. We're gonna be moving on to the next event. The next event is really interesting because it is a new event. It is the Orc Horde attack. It is a epic raid boss, and this time they are gonna be orcs. And I have literally no idea what we can expect, but we finally have the ability to look at the epics and the rewards. So that's actually what we're going to be doing. So first of all, a new epic came out. It is called the Horde Wargear Plus. It is a very steady armor. It isn't a defensive type armor, it's rather offensive, and it looks pretty impressive. It looks pretty badass. I like the way this one looks. It looks kind of like barbaric, and I kind of like that. So that being said, we're actually going to take a look at the rewards, and we have 4 tabs to take a look from, and that's going to be really interesting. First of all, we're going to start with the top guild rewards at the very left side. So first of all, if you're going to be the winner, alongside with your guild doing the most points in these raid boss event, you'll be getting the Horde Wargear Plus, and this is going to be really interesting to see what's going to happen down here. So as I already mentioned before, this is just exactly like the epic guild wars, in which rank 1 to rank 10 are going to be capable of getting that epic, that special epic designed for the event. It's going to be really interesting to see. Then after that, you have the Armor of the Komodo as the second epic. Armor of the Komodo, very nice choice down there. Was kind of to be expected because the Horde Wargear is a mono earth. The Armor of the Komodo fits in perfectly down there as well, and I feel a lot of people are going to be really interested to get this one. On the other hand though, some people might not be interested because it is a mono earth. So we're going to be moving on to the legendary. It is the Nether armor. That was actually the armor that I forgot, that there was a combination in there just like the Cthulhu, and I apologize for saying that out to you guys, that that there wasn't a legendary. I even forgot about the Swamp Stone. You know, I don't know what got in my head in that episode, but I just want to point out that I kind of wanted to correct myself for that mistake. The Nether armor is a pretty nice legendary. It is fairly recent, so I feel that Greece is definitely doing their job here with this event. You'll be capable of getting the Nether armor all the way up to rank 500, in which after that you'll be capable of getting the Swamp Shaman robes. So we're going to be moving on to the next one, the top player rewards for this week. It is the Armor of the Komodo Plus as well. So if you're doing really well, you'll be getting the Armor of the Komodo Plus as well. And it is some sort of a feel that as if you're in the arena or something like that. Alongside with that, if you are going to be the first position in the entire event, you will be capable of getting the Orc Slayer achievement, and that is a unique achievement. It is an achievement that only you will be capable of having. It is even better than the Black Medal. So I suppose a lot of people are gonna go for the eternal glory of getting it the first time around. Then I haven't seen it further than this, but you'll be capable of getting the Armor of the Komodo as well if you're the 10th position player. So that's a little bit better than the arena. We're going to be moving on then. The Redstone Battle Gear, the arena award from rank 50 from rank 11 on forward, and then the Aegis of the Wyvern is a fairly outdated legendary in there. So a lot of stuff is up for grasp for you guys, and I think it's going to be really interesting to take a look at the individual rewards as well, as I will be going over them in this episode. So then lastly, we have the guild member rewards. Well, this is based on how well you're placing in your guild. If you are placing well with your guild, these rewards will be increasing. It already says at the right hand corner. I think if you get 2 million points total combined with your entire guild, these rewards are going to be gradually better. So that's going to be really interesting to take a look at. I'll be making sure to give you guys live coverage about that. Okay, next milestones is actually your individual milestones for getting the points down here. There's a huge list of armors that you'll be capable of getting. It's even better than the arena in my opinion. And there are so many tiers down here. You guys see it already in your screen. Getting fusion stones, getting gems, getting armors, getting more gems, getting energy, getting keys, getting fusion boost armors, and then lastly you'll be capable of getting the Troll Forge. I think that's the Troll Forge legendary, and you'll be getting some keys from the Dark Prince keys. So this is going to be really interesting to see. And the jumps from these milestones aren't really all that great either. I really like the way they have this thing set up. So if if you get 20,000 points, you'll be getting a snakeskin armor, and that is pretty nice on itself. And as always, I'll be making sure to bring you guys some coverage. I'm not entirely sure how we're gonna be doing it, but I'll give you guys my first impression on this entire thing. I'll show you guys everything from a guildmaster perspective as well, and I think that's gonna be really interesting for you guys to watch. So make sure, if you guys haven't already, to subscribe to my channel, to keep yourself updated with everything that's happening on my channel, because this weekend's gonna be pretty packed with episodes. So that being said, let's move on to the last event, which I will be covering very briefly. It is Cthulhu. The Unspeakable horror has risen. Currently on level 24. I haven't really been spending a lot of time on Cthulhu here, but this armor is pretty nice. I kind of needed to recorrect myself that the Nether armor was the last one out there. I suppose this is the best legendary in the game right now. It's fairly offensive. It is a very nice armor indeed. The Cultist Wargear looks kind of funky, but the epic boss looks kind of badass. So that being said, we are through our events for this week. So that's gonna be it for this week's news flash. So as always, make sure that if you have any opinions or anything or thoughts about this, make sure to leave them down in the comment section down below, so that way we can open up a discussion. It's going to be pretty fun to see what you guys have to say about all of this. And if by any chance you have a question for me by the end of this video, make sure to ask them on me to me on ask.fm/reversalknd, so that way I can actually get to you guys. I'm very active on there, so if you have questions, burning questions, make sure you ask them on ask.fm. If you by any chance are interested to see more from me on Knights and Dragons, like in-depth details or anything, like stuff that I'm posting up, you can always follow me on Instagram. I'm posting a lot of pictures up there. I'm also pretty active on Twitter. I try to be more active on there, or you can just hit the like button on my official Facebook page. The links of these will all be provided in the video description down below, or at the right side or something. Anyway, as always, make sure that if you guys like this video too, boom, give it a thumbs up. And I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in for this week's Knights and Dragons news flash. My name is Reversal, bringing you weekly Knights and Dragons news, signing off, and I'll see you guys in the next one.